Hi everyone, it's Rob here. I wanted to speak to you today about objectives, whether they be personal or work-based, and the fact that objectives should always be SMART. Now, what do we mean by SMART? Well, SMART is an acronym which means the following. SMART is specific for S, specific and simple, not to be forgotten, yeah. It's also measurable, it's got to be a measurable objective. It should also be achievable, but not only achievable, it should also be agreed. It should also be relevant to what you're doing, something that has to really be there as well. It also has to be timed. It has to be time bound, in other words. Yeah, you have to give some kind of timing to your objectives. And once again, whether they're personal or work-based, these all apply all of the time. Now, in order to show this, I'm going to use the example of building a house, or better than that, renovating a house. So if you're renovating a house and you start off with simple and specific, yeah, when you're being specific about the renovation of your house, you would have to know, for example, are you just going to renovate the inside? Are you renovating the inside and the outside of the house? Are you renovating the garden at the same time? Are you getting some work done on the garden, landscaping at the same time? Are all the windows being changed? Only half the windows are being changed? Does it involve only painting and decorating? Or are we talking about here changing all the bathrooms as well and ripping all the floors up and a full, what we would call more of a hard renovation, yeah? So you can see the importance, the real importance, just one letter so far, of specific, yeah? You have to be very specific. You have to be able to define the scope of the objective in order for it to be effective. Now that's whether or not it's personal or work-related, yeah? So going on, and it has to be simple. Don't forget the S for simple as well. Simple is really when you're talking about an objective to another person, yeah, and you're giving an objective to someone as a manager, for example. You have to understand that there's clarity and there's understanding. It's not to say that the objective is so simple that it's stupid. It's to say that the other person, the person you're maybe giving an objective to, has to have understood the objective. So both simple, so that it's understood, and specific, so that we have the scope of the objective. Now moving on to the M from SMART. M is for measurable, yeah? And as a very famous management theorist once said, Peter Drucker, if you can't measure it, you can't manage it, yeah? So you would have to understand that in the case of the example we've chosen for the renovation of a house, for example, you're going to have to measure it. So are you going to measure what's going to be done? Are you going to measure, are you going to do the whole house? Is it going to be 1,000 square feet that you're going to do? Is it 500 square feet that we're going to renovate? Are we painting only the walls in the living areas and we're not painting all the walls in the garage area, for example? Are we going to achieve all of this in a certain time frame, which we'll talk about again later? But in any case, you have to measure what you're doing. So how much cabling are you going to use to redo the electricity? You have to measure, obviously you have to take measures in a renovation project to know, for example, where you're going to put your kitchen. If you're going to put a kitchen in a room where you've just ripped it all out, you have to measure everything very precisely to know how you're going to get the washing machine in. Does it all fit? Yeah. So this was the same. It's an easy example to see. But once again, the importance of measurement, I think, was best stated by Peter Drucker, who did say if you can't measure something, then you just can't manage it. Yeah. Then on to the A from SMART. So A for achievable. Yeah, is it achievable? Is it achievable in the sense that do you have enough resources to actually do the renovation that you've set out to do? So is it achievable? Do you have the amount of resources? Do you have the right people there? Do you have your plumber? Do you have an electrician? Do you have the financial resources? So is the objective you've set yourself actually achievable? You've said you want it done in 1 month. Do you think 1 month for a 10-bedroom house, that would be possible to renovate it? Probably not, yeah? So you have to make sure, and you understand that when you give an objective to someone as a manager, for example, yeah, if the objective is not achievable at the outset, it's going to be a problem for the person. It's never going to get done at the end of the day. One other thing about the A, as I said at the beginning, is agreed. Yeah, it's also got to be agreed, not just achievable, but also agreed with the person that's getting the objective. Yeah, or taking the objective on. Yeah, including yourself, of course. Yeah, you have to agree. Yeah, the person has to agree that this objective, yeah, is something that's achievable. Yeah, and it's also something that they want to do. Yeah, otherwise you're going to spend all of your time as a manager or a leader trying to convince the person to do the objective, which should have already been agreed in the first place. Yeah. Okay, so I think we all understand the importance of the A in SMART. Yeah. Relevant. So relevance for the R in SMART. So relevant, obviously. Yeah. When you're talking to the plumber, you're going to be talking to him about plumbing. Yeah. You're going to be asking him about how to put the sinks in, how to do the baths, how to do the showers. Yeah. You're not going to be talking to the plumber about rewiring all the electricity in the house. You're probably going to be speaking to the electrician about the electricity, I would hope. Yeah, you're going to be talking also to the person that's putting the roof. You're going to be talking to a roofer. The person that's dealing with building the walls or rebuilding the walls. You're going to be talking to the mason. You're not going to be talking to the electrician about that. Yeah, okay. Although you'll have to coordinate it between the two, obviously, but you have to be relevant. So the objective for the person that's in front of you or yourself has to be relevant. It has to have relevance to the project that you're speaking about, or the objective or goal that you're speaking about. Yeah, and then timed, of course. Yeah. So if we're talking about renovating a house, yeah, obviously timing is going to be very important. Yeah. Let's imagine that you've rented a house out for a year whilst the renovation is going on, because everyone's said to you, the architect, everyone that's involved, has said it's going to be 1 year exactly and the project will be done. But woe and betide, the project isn't done at the end of a year, and you find yourself with nowhere to live because the lease has run out for what you're renting, your apartment, while your house is being done. So timing, yeah, is extremely important to get right. So I think we've gone through all of we've gone through the SMART, SMART. Okay, so once again, so S, it's got to be your objective or your goal has to be specific and simple. The M for measurable. The A for achievable and also agreed. Yeah. The R for relevant, and the T for timed or time bound. Thank you very much for your time today. See you again soon. Thank you.